Hello everyone, welcome to the Elliottwave-for-cash.com YouTube channel. Today is January 26th, and the chart of the day for today is Bitcoin, BTCUSD. Now this one, guys, I will explain how you need to be a bit careful with this one. Okay. Now if you take a look at this one, we see that it ended with P here, and now within a select down, right? The latest movement here may suggest that we could be in fact ending already. Now let me explain why we're still calling for the downside, and why, even though we are calling for the downside, remember this is a B, so that means it's a select down, and so that means we're actually not bearish here, because ABC is a corrective structure, right? So once the C is complete, we can start turning higher and continue the upside. So if you look at the higher degree, we are actually bullish Bitcoin. We are not bearish. Okay. Now we are calling for a possible extension lower. If I go to the 4-hour, and we're gonna focus on the P here. So you can see right here, this is the P here, the same P we saw in the 1-hour time frame here. So the A will be here. So we are talking about the pullback that started from 49,000 here, right? So we can clearly see this is your kind of your first leg, and this is your second leg, because it breaks below the previous low. So it's like trying to do an ABC zigzag. Now the 100% is still over here, right? So technically, unless it truncates, which is possible, right? Truncation happens all the time. It's a lesser probability than a full 100%, but it happens quite frequently, truncation, especially if it is counter trend against the direction of the trend, which is less strong, right? Counter trend is less strong, so the chance it will truncate is actually there. Now I draw a channel here, and we are currently still below this channel. Now as long as we stay below this channel, I think we still got a chance to do another leg down here. But if we do get a break, above the channel, so the possibility now becomes that something else happens, right? So either this cycle completes. If the cycle completes, what happens is we have two options. When a cycle ends, we always have two possible paths. The first path is that it resumes the previous direction of the trend. So you can see the 4-hour, the previous one was going up, and so if this cycle ends, that means this corrective cycle ends by breaking the trend line. One possible option is just continue the previous move, which is up. The second option is going to be correcting this cycle, which is ending. So when I say correction, I'm talking about a three-ways rally, because that's a correction. Now the three-ways rally should correct this entire cycle, so we could technically go to, let's say, 50% retracement or 61.8% retracement, because you're talking about correction of this entire decline. Now if I tell you this is the end of the correction, then that doesn't make any sense, because this kind of move down cannot be corrected with this small move up, for example, right? So if it moves down from here, that cannot be the correction of this. So in order to be a correction of this cycle, first of all, it needs to break the channel, the bearish channel. Secondly, it needs to be a decent correction that is proportional to whatever the cycle it is being corrected. So if this is the cycle we're talking about, then the correction has to be proportional in size. So it has to be a decent, a larger degree pullback, and then it can go down again, and that's what we call a double correction, which is basically an extended correction, right? So this, okay, so I'm now assuming now that this cycle ends, and instead of we resume the previous direction, which is higher, we are doing a double. And now in that case, the second path is going to be a three-ways correction against this cycle, but then it fails and go down again. Now remember, if it breaks the trend line, then the chance becomes bigger that we are not going to see for the downside anymore, right? And that we are actually going to be we are actually going to be either go to new high from here or bounce in a larger degree 3 ways before it fails and go down. You guys understand, right? Now I know some people will say, like, oh, you mentioned so many different possibilities, so it doesn't. Well, it does make sense if you understand Elliott Wave. We want to know what the possible paths are, and we don't pretend to know exactly which path it is, because it is a forecast, guys. It's not like magic, right? It's not like one single path only, but it is talking about the high probability, and then understanding what the path is and what's the best strategy and all those things. So anyway, we are still for now calling it lower, but we are not bearish. And be careful, if we do get further extension higher, then chances are higher we might be finished, and then we can start to reverse to the upside in 3 ways at least in 3 ways like this. If not, then we can actually go like this as well. Okay, so we'll wait and see, but the idea is we don't like selling, guys. As long as you understand the principle, we don't like selling, then that's good. And now the most ideal scenario, depending on the system of trading, right? Like in the system, we have a corrective structure, ideally, not always, ideally hit the 100%. So in the most ideal world, we can go lower into this area, and if we believe this is a correction, then we should be finding support right here, because we are kind of looking for more upside, right? So this 3 ways ideally reaches here in the ideal world, right? Now if not, then truncates, and it can get pretty complex if it does not go down and instead break the channel like this. Then the correction will get more complex. All right, so that's the update here for today, guys. And as always, if you want to get more updates on Bitcoin or any other cryptos, Forex, commodities, indices, feel free to check our service. We have 14 days trial, and the link is in the description of the video. See you all again next time, and have a nice day, everyone.